So it is November 22nd, 2018. This is WIKISPEED Stand-Up. And Lauren, would you like to start us off?
Yes, it's Lawrence Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia. I'm sorry I'm sitting, but I'm looks tuckered out. And this week I didn't really do anything that I can think of. I didn't plan anything. I didn't do anything. I got a little crosstalk because I did do something that's similar to what I've been doing for WIKISPEED. So I'm going to give myself a little training credit for that. I'll talk about it in crosstalk. And the coming week is going to be similar. I'm just catching up after this health thing. And the blocks are again just getting back to normal. Not back to normal yet. And that's it for me.
Okay, it's Michael Wolchuk in Saskatoon. For last week, I've actually given up on cleaning up my garage. I got to a point where both vehicles will fit, and I stored everything else. I did get stand-up posted for last week, and I got some of the containers of stuff that probably shouldn't be in the garage moved to another building, but most of it's still in the garage somewhere. I just hid it high and low. And it's kind of dangerous to put it high because you end up dropping it on your head when you try and get it out, but I'll fix that later. I brought home one of the solar panels from the lake so I can play with my solar and connectors and stuff, but that's not this week. That's probably going to be next week. I also brought home some parts for the Polaris, brakes, a light bar, and a winch, and hopefully I can install them in the next few weeks, starting with the winch so that I can actually get the Polaris into and out of my garage in a timely fashion. I will have some demo. I guess I should have uploaded that picture, darn it. I have a picture of the garage that shows that it's clean enough to park two vehicles. That's all the demo. And for next week, I'm going to put the temporary solar mount on the solar panel back together, the one solar panel, and get it out in the sunshine. I probably won't get it connected to the charge controller. I might get an extension cord run out from the charge controller to my garage, but I doubt it. I need to look at building a model of the workbench I want to do. I'm actually mixing together two designs, so I don't know exactly what the lengths will work out to and whether anything will fit onto a sheet of 4x8 plywood. So I've got to play around with proportions and stuff to see whether it works. And mounting the Polaris winch onto the bumper, as I mentioned, that's probably not going to get done next week, but I'm hoping. And I guess that's about it for me. I don't have any blocks. So back to you, Lauren.
Okay, so my retro is going to be a 2, one for this training, one for showing up. Team is a 8, and process improvement. Think of some new way to try and get people on the call in the new year. I still like the idea of food. Some kind of send out a recipe and everyone make it and eat it. So that's my retro, and I'm gonna have there's 2 points I have in crosstalk. I'm just trying to keep them in my mind. One of them is about your solar,
Okay.
and one of them is about the basically I end up doing the government red tape processes because nobody else wants to do them, and that I'll talk about.
All right, retro. Because I actually achieved one more than my target, I actually made 10 out of 10 this week, which feels a little weird to say since I did so little, but I guess I wasn't aiming very high, so I made it. Team, I'm going to give the team a 7. It was just me on stand-up last week, and it's just me and Lauren this week, but again, Joe did send out an email saying he wasn't going to be around, and that kind of makes sense because it is Thanksgiving in the U.S. Process improvement. Getting people to join is great. Advertising stand-up. I don't do social media, so I don't really know how to get that part done. So I guess we're open to suggestions, and because we're open to suggestions, we don't actually have anything to vote on, I don't think. What do you think?
I agree. But you know, it's a legitimate thing this week that only Canadians, only non-Americans on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well,
as far as families is concerned, Thanksgiving is it for Americans.
yeah, they seem to take it pretty serious, like more than Christmas even.
Yeah. No, but by Christmas you're going skiing. But
yeah. Okay, I guess that pretty much, pretty much wraps it up. I don't believe we've added anything to the backlog that we actually have actionable for getting more people on the call. There is a proposal from someone to the info at WIKISPEED account about using some of their software to, I think it's kind of like a combination between Git, SourceForge, and like a markup language. Although I did ask him what exactly his software did, because the link he gave me to the site didn't. I was having a hard time telling what exactly his software did. He never did reply to that email, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, having a way to store drawings and PDFs and manuals and everything all in one place so that everybody could find them would be awesome, especially if there was a reader that was kind of built in, where I think SourceForge and GitHub kind of fall down, is the fact that you need other stuff installed in order to read them. But that's just my opinion.
There's a thing called GitLab I mentioned, I think, before, that I joined just because, what was it, Microsoft acquired GitHub. So I was looking for where the open source people are moving to. And so some of them are going to GitLab. And GitHub is still open source.
So GitLab is another repository, or it's more of a document control?
It's a repository, but they're also it's almost like they're talking about a lot more but I couldn't say for sure, but definitely it sounds like it's trying to be more of a solution or a good interface for people working together, a collaborative interface that goes beyond the repository.
Okay, well, I'm going to add to my backlog that I'm going to investigate GitLab and see whether it's going to be a good fit for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Crosstalk.
Yeah. So first of all, I have questions about the solar panel in the cold, because Saskatoon has a lot of cold and a lot of sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, do you need to keep like the panel warm, or does it have to get into the warmth at some point in order to, like, I guess the battery, it's if you're storing or whatever, then you want the battery warm, right? But the panel itself, the performance of the panel in the cold, does that vary?
The panel actually likes it somewhere around 0. So that seems to be where the efficiency peaks. So you can actually get better production out of the solar panel when there's a bit of a wind and it's a cool wind in the spring and the autumn than when it's blazing straight down in the summer, which it doesn't. It's very counterintuitive, but people are measuring that kind of anomaly. And actually, snow works really well because it's a big reflective surface. So you can actually.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have to
go ahead.
pause this, but I'll be. Sorry about that. There's phone
No
calls I
problem.
have to get, but this was a cruise to do with Marriott or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was saying, okay. So then I really have a question. Are we talking resistance? So the cold helps with lower the lower the resistance.
I don't believe it's resistance. I I haven't dug into it to any great extent, but it sounds like the junction between the two differently doped semiconductor materials actually just is more efficient at lower temperature.
Cool.
So, and actually, water cooling the solar panels is something that people have played with for a while, and it's just not worth the cost.
Right.
But buying a few extra solar panels is better.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So the other thing is, yeah. So another group I work with was, there was a comment, a period on a government thing, and I'm not gonna go into what it was, but similar to WIKISPEED, basically, and similar to the IRS, the only way to do it was fax, except if you had an account. And so because of an earlier application, I had my own account, one for a group, and I was able to put together 2 submissions on the last day. So I'm counting that as a little bit of training and stuff, because it's one of those things. It's it's another thing that I do that no one else wants to do. One of them is cleaning data. Everyone wants to do statistics on the final clean data. Nobody wants to clean up the data. And so I'm the data janitor, the data laundry. And likewise, go ahead.
Well, it's just I'm good at collecting data. I'm not so good at processing data. I seem to be fairly good at spotting outliers, and I like investigating why I have outliers and figuring out whether it's a systematic process or whatever. But yeah, I'm not that great at cleaning data either.
So. Yeah.
So the other thing you were going to talk about is government stuff.
No, that's what yeah, like I already kind of did that. I just said
Okay.
I got some more practice with
Okay.
red tape. But basically, you have to not get frustrated and save a lot. And look, if there's a save on the page, this is for online forms. And in this one, it was totally critical, because you could write a long thing. It could be 2,000 words. And if you didn't notice the save at the bottom, and your browser crashed or your computer crashed or something, it was gone. It wasn't like Google. Actually, it made me realize that Gmail compulsively saves every second or two.
Yep.
And that's why it's popular, because it doesn't disappoint people. It doesn't frustrate people, because it's constantly saying already saved, already saved, already saved, as you're drafting things. So usually you don't lose stuff. I have an Android app for Gmail that loses stuff, but the Windows version and the Linux version, or rather the browser version, don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of it for me. I'm kind of looking forward, and I really do look forward to these stand-ups. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting back into stuff. And I know sometime in the next month or so, and actually now between now and Christmas, I used to relish this time when I was working in the States because it was like there's a real it's such a short time till Christmas.
Oh, you stopped
Yeah,
moving, and okay.
you disappeared. Hang on. I'm gonna try back on it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so I really relish this time because basically it, it, they they generally didn't plan, so it was a kind of a clear time to get things done, and it was I, I had a double kind of thing. I didn't do American Thanksgiving. I didn't do Christmas, so I had a real opportunity to, in terms of just not be bothered, have time when I could focus, not be bothered. And in the mainframe days, which are still kind of, well, even in any kind of sharing server or database, likewise, you get a magic kind of time when your responses and everything is instant.
Well, yeah, that's true. Actually, I wish we could convince more people not to schedule between Black Friday and Christmas. Anything that you're going to do for the year has to be done by Black Friday. That would be awesome because then all the overruns you could just take those 3 weeks and deal with, because
That's what
nothing
they
ever,
do.
yeah,
That's what they
nothing
do.
ever.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, the deadlines are all this week. I mean, it's a nightmare the week or two before Thanksgiving because everybody wants everything done.
Hmm. Cool.
I
I
man,
had no idea.
What's that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
apparently I haven't worked with enough U.S. project managers because I had no idea.
Yeah. No, it's like because it's not very long to Christmas, so it's like highly interfering, and they'll take extra days around Christmas and
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving. So the weekend, you're talking about things not getting going next week, maybe till Wednesday. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Alrighty. Um,
Okay, good to talk. But this time it's legitimate. It's legitimate that
yeah,
only can this week.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I was on the call on Thanksgiving either. So, on our Thanksgiving.
Right. Okay, good to talk. Talk to you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye bye.